It turns out we're going to be seeing multiple variations of some of our favorite Crash Bandicoot characters in Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. This is proven by an interview I had with Toys for Bob, along with a leaked image of some interesting concept art and merchandise. Let's talk about it.
Whoa!
What's up guys, Canadian Guy here, and back with another Crash Bandicoot 4 video. Recently, I released a video talking about how the new Crash games would work in terms of the story of all the other Crash games. We learned through an interview and connecting some of the dots that every single Crash Bandicoot game is now considered as canon through multiple timelines through the multiverse. I highly suggest you check out that video. I'll put a card in the top right corner in the comment section below, along with it being at the end of the video. Now, with these multiple timelines, this means that we might be seeing worlds that we have seen before. But what's more important, and the base concept of this entire video, is that we'll be visiting timelines that we have never seen before. Because of that, we're going to see new takes on characters that we have also never seen before. I recently had an interview with Paul Yan, the creative lead and director at Toys for Bob for this project. This is what he had to say when I talked to him about some of the character redesigns, and if any of them will shock fans. Our goal in designing the characters is to not shock fans. We try to be very respectful of character designs that came before us, but I do think that fans are going to be pleasantly surprised by some of the alternative timelines that spill into this adventure. That's all I can say about that. So again, this confirms that we will be seeing multiple versions of different characters in the first place, which leads to endless possibilities, but we can actually deduce and figure some things out by looking at a specific leaked image. This image had popped up on 4chan when someone had went through the Crash Bandicoot site during It's About Time's launch. According to what I've heard, which of course could be untrue, is that this image went live but was quickly taken down. Some people were able to catch it and was able to pour the source PNG for it from the website. Within this picture we can see both Crash and Coco sliding on, well, I guess time rails? Not exactly sure what to call them yet, but in the corners of the shattered glass in the dimensions we have Dingodile, Cortex, Dr. Entropy, and what seems to be a female Bandicoot, which I will get to in a bit. We also see 4 masks dead set in the center here, but one of them is one that we have never seen before, which was swapped out for the blue mask that we saw in the trailer. Maybe this is one of the reasons why the image was taken down, because it's an out-of-date piece of concept art, and maybe this mask was the original design for our little blue fellow from the trailer? Who knows? But I want you to take your focus on the 4 characters in the corners. Cortex looks like his new, well, redesigned self from the trailer. On the bottom left, we have Dingodile, but he looks a bit different. He has swapped out his brown pants for a pair of blue jeans and has touch-ups and adjustments to his original design. But the biggest thing is that he is using water from his tank instead of fire. Now, last time I checked, that's not how flamethrowers work, so I don't think this version has a flamethrower anymore. So what this tells me is that this is a new variation of Dingodile that we have not seen. In the background, we can see it seems to be some swampy bayou. Now, it could be the Wampa Islands, but it also could be some sort of a southern take on Dingodile. So instead of Australian Dingodile, this might be a southern, I suppose, New Orleans take on the dingo. Then in the top right corner, we see a very interesting looking Entropy. Now, I am not 100% sure on this, but from this angle and from the way that they look, this looks like a much more feminine Entropy. Think of Liv from Into the Spider-Verse, with her being the female version of Dr. Octavius, or Doc Ock. That might not be the case, however. That just might be me speculating. Now, some thought that this was the new Entropy design for the new game, but due to a previously leaked piece of concept art that we saw from Toys for Bob, we can actually see Entropy clear as day. We can see that the shape and outline in the concept art leak way back in the day is completely different in comparison to this image here, and is more akin to the traditional Entropy that we know and love. So judging by the fact that Dingodile is seemingly a different take, we can assume that this is also a completely different Entropy. Now, they seem to be in front of a futuristic metropolis that we see during the trailer with Coco running through it. Now last, but certainly not least, we have what seems to be a female Bandicoot, literally kicking a shark in the teeth as she swings by on a rope by a pirate ship. Now if we were to look at this image alone, this would be quite hard to figure out who or what she is, but according to a recent merch leak, we can see that there is a female Bandicoot with the exact same haircut as the one in the concept art. And lo and behold, we find out this swashbuckling shark-kicking pirate is Tawna. So yes, ladies and gents, Tawna is making a return to a mainline Crash Bandicoot game and is not just some Easter egg or a quick cameo or even a damsel in distress, but seemingly as a fully fledged character. Now, I commissioned a fantastic friend of the channel to make a waist-up recreation of Tawna based off both the concept art and the button that we saw in the merch leak, so you can get an idea of what this new Tawna will look like. You can check out Mel's Twitter in the description below. But this is not the same bombshell Tawna that we normally see, but now a fully fledged pirate. Now, what would be an amazing way to bring in Tawna's friends, the Nitro Squad, that was introduced in Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, would be to include them as a part of Tawna's pirate crew, so that we can see Megumi, Liz, Isabelle, and Amy again, but in swashbuckling form. But this would also introduce them into the mainline games instead of just being a part of the spin-off racing games. Now we know there is a pirate level because of this wide shot here that we got at the release of the trailer that has all these different houses that look like pirate ships and abandoned pirate ships as well, which leads me to my next point. I think it's obvious that these characters will show up in the corresponding worlds that we see them representing. Since we already know that there is a futuristic level and a pirate level that has been confirmed, we will likely see some Bayou level as well to bring in Dingodile. So we can confirm that both Tawna and Dingodile will make appearances in the game and will likely play some role in the story. But now there's some interesting ideas at play here. There was something that I noticed that intrigued me. All the characters in the corners of the images are, well, villains. Cortex has already been confirmed as a villain, and historically the other characters have been seen as villains as well. But Tawna has always been seen as a good character, so I ask myself, why is she there to begin with when everyone else is a villain? It might be a case where actually Pirate Tawna may not be as good as she is in the original timelines. She might be a paid mercenary now. She is a pirate after all. This would be an interesting take if they decide to go down this path. Or, it's possible some of these characters are actually now morally good. This could be a different Entropy wanting to restore and fix the mess that Cortex and Entropy in this timeline had made and ally themselves with Crash and Coco to try and fix the damage that's been caused. Who knows? Toys for Bob is really taking this game to its creative extreme. To be able to see old characters come back in a new and refreshing way while still keeping the original characters that we know and love the way they are. The way of bringing in new versions but keeping the originals untouched through this multiverse method is nothing short of genius. And what's even more genius is that they are working with mechanics and things that has already been established within Crash Bandicoot's universe as well. But this is going to be for a different video. Make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all things Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon. A huge thank you to all those who support the channel through Patreon and being a sponsor on the channel. If you'd like to help it out, check out the links in the description below, where you can buy some CGE merch or become a Patreon. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe for more gaming and nostalgic content. Thank you so much everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next video.